Hello, my name is Jay Chauhan. I'm a lawyer in Richmond Hill and also leading a group called Angel Mentorship Group. I'm also preparing this video on the question of the dress code in general, both for lawyers, paralegals, and non-lawyers as well. So the role of the dress in our interaction with people and expression of our identity, that's the subject for this video. So I just want to begin by saying that we, as the human species, if you like, express ourselves not only with speech but also the way we present ourselves and the way we dress. And the dress code has evolved in different ways in different countries based on the culture and the climate of that society. And it's very important that we recognize how the dress affects our identity and expression of the identity when we present ourselves in the way we dress and the way we look to other people. So I think that the clothing is a part of our identity through almost for long time in the evolution, and it's very important that we recognize the way that it makes an impression, or we preserve our identity and our, to some degree, our privacy as well. So I think that one issue that I raised in a seminar, on a health seminar a little while ago, was a question of identity, and where a person by the name of Amanda Todd committed suicide in Vancouver, where she was exposed to her bosom and she felt very uncomfortable, and then it resulted in her suicide. So there's an expression of how we feel that the clothing protects our identity is against the rest of the world. So it's very important to recognize the role of clothing in the human existence. I think that the other part that you should recognize also is that the culture creates the dress code. So just to give an example of how the dress code that I am wearing right now in a jacket and a shirt is a Western style clothing. If you saw the Prime Minister of India, he continues the tradition of Indian dress code, which is different. Chinese people have adopted the English style clothing, Western clothing, is the way that they would integrate in the world culture. So it's part of the culture of the society and the way the world is evolving around how we are carrying out our role in the world cultures to present ourselves through the culture which is developing in an international fashion. So I think that having said all the background of how the dress code affects the presentation of the person, I want to talk a little bit more about how it affects the legal profession. This legal profession basically also is a very formal profession, and for those who are lawyers and paralegals, then my suggestion is that if you're in an office or in a courtroom, there are two different places, and it's very important to dress correctly in both the places. So if you were, for example, in an office in my younger days, we put on the tie and a darker suit, and we were dressed up properly. The society has become more relaxed in Canada, and very often these days, as you see me today, I do not necessarily wear a tie in the office. But if I was sitting as a judge in the courtroom, which I did for 24 years, I'm now retired, there was a gown on the top and there was always a tie. So I just want to show to you my gown. This is the gown that I used, and this is called the sash, and it shows the role of a judge. And why people have evolved these kind of dress codes in the court system is because of a role in dealing with the people in the courtroom, and also it's outside the courtroom in offices and in our interaction with the people. We use the dress as a way of communicating with the people. So I think on a formal occasion you dress more formally, on an informal occasion you dress casually, in the place of work we dress in an appropriate fashion. I'm also doing this video for people who are immigrants and coming to Canada, and in our role in adjusting to the green society, it's very important that a person who comes as an immigrant understand the culture of the society. And of course, the green culture is predominantly the culture of the West, and particularly English, except for Quebec, but their dress code is very similar in Europe and brought to Canada. And if you're adjusting to the dress code, it's very important if you're interviewed or going for an interview for a job that you understand this dress code and dress appropriately. It's important not to overdress and not to underdress. So if you're being interviewed by an organization, you should understand the culture of the organization where you're going. And in that situation, you should dress accordingly. If you overdress, then it looks to the person that is interviewing you that you're a little bit defensive. If you're underdressed, you appear very casual and not going to be able to do the job that you say that you will be doing in your resume. And one comment I would make for people who are of Indian origin, and I'm hoping that one of the organization, JEPSI, will be displaying this video also on their website, where I want to tell the audience also that when you go for a job, and you should dress appropriately. And one of the things that is happening in the modern times in India is that the dress code is becoming casual. If you look at the dresses in the cinema movement where the awards are given, I've seen also that the dress code is extremely casual, even in those occasions. I think if you see the American awards, and they are a bit more formal, and accordingly, I think that it is important that you recognize the culture of the society. But when you come to Canada and you want to integrate in the society, that you should recognize the dress code and dress accordingly in the job or other occasions. That makes a big impression to the people. One of the things that happens to the dress code also is that it becomes a part of our identity. For example, Indian women will put on a sari. And if you're putting on a sari, but you go in a legal office and work as a lawyer, then it's very important that you present yourself in the Korean society as a lawyer to the audience and the public. Even if your clients are of the same nationality, then it is important to present yourself with the culture of the society where you're working. So I think that one of the suggestions I would make is that torn jeans are common with a lot of people in India now and also here. But if you're in a formal environment, like a courtroom or even a function, then I would recommend that you do not wear torn jeans in a legal office or in a courtroom or a formal occasion in the country. So these are some of the tips that I would like to pass on to you. I hope you enjoyed the video, and hope you have any remarks that you can make at the bottom of this video. Please do. And you will see more of these videos on all the websites where it is, including the Angel Mentorship Group and the JEPSI website and our health website also, where I'm also doing the program for health and other issues with Parveen Zareen. So thank you and hope you enjoyed the video.